this one, which is a part of Surah At-Tawbah, which is a surah number 9 or a chapter number 9 and ayah number 5. So 0905. And a part of this ayah says that kill the polytheists, mushrikeen, wherever you find them, and capture them and besiege them and sit in wait for them at every place of ambush. This is basically an ayah that has been used by the critique of Islam to say that it is through this ayah Islam allows violence. Again, this is a gross misinterpretation of this ayah. And the reason why we are in this situation is because that whenever we pick a part of any ayah, or even if we take the whole ayah, but we do not take into consideration the complete context, which means we need to look at the complete sequence of all the ayahs, at least 5 to 6 ayahs before this ayah, 5 to 6 ayahs after this ayah, in order to understand the complete context. If we don't do that, we end up in a dangerous situation of misinterpreting the Quranic ayah, as we will see today by discussing the complete context. So in this particular situation, we are going to start right from the very first ayah, which is surah number 9, ayah number 1. So 0901. In addition to the fact, there were two rules that we discussed in part 1 which are applicable in this particular situation. The first of this rule that we have already discussed is that Quran or Deen is haq, and haq means someone's or somebody's due right based on God's given solid judicial principles. So there cannot be any injustice as per Deen. And the other important rule that we had discussed in the first part is that there cannot be any contradiction as per Quran. So one Quranic ayah cannot contradict any other Quranic ayah. And we had already discussed this particular Quranic ayah, that there is no force, no compulsion, no violence whatsoever in Deen. So this interpretation of this particular ayah is a gross misinterpretation based on these two important rules and reminders that I keep in mind whenever I approach Quran. So in terms of the tools that we had discussed in part 1, we're going to use two of these tools today. So one of this tool that we're going to discuss is a smartphone app, Quranic Words. So for instance, if you click on the Quranic Words, it's going to show you the list of all the surahs, and we are going to discuss chapter number or surah number 9, Surah At-Tawbah. The other tool that we are going to discuss is the website, corpus.quran.com. So if you click on this website, it will give you the list of all the surahs, and we are going to click on the surah number 9, Surah At-Tawbah, the repentance. So let's start from the very first ayah. If we clicked on the website, it shows the translation of the first ayah by 7 scholars. You can pick up whichever translation you are more comfortable with. I'm going to pick up the very first one, which is from Sahih International. So this is the ayah translation that we have picked up, the very first one from the website. Then we are going to go to the smartphone app, Quranic Words, and we are going to click on the surah, and then we are going to click on the ayah, which is the ayah number 1. And when we click on the ayah number 1, it gives you the word by word translation of each word. But we need to be mindful that we completely ignore those words which are in the bracket, because those words that are in the bracket are not the word by word translation of any Arabic word. So here we have taken on the translation from the website as shown on the top right corner. On the left side, we have taken on the word by word translation from the smartphone app, and now we're going to revise this translation as per the word by word translation by omitting all the words in the brackets. So it is revised as freedom from obligations from Allah and His Messenger to those, and then we are going to delete the words in the bracket, which is with, we are going to delete with, to those whom you made a covenant from the polytheists. So now we are going to discuss all the ayahs. I have taken out the word-by-word translation for all the ayahs. I'm just going to read the translation as it is, and we are going to omit the words in the brackets. So freedom from obligations from Allah and His Messenger to those whom you made a covenant from polytheist is the ayah number 1. The ayah number 2 says, so move about in the land 4 months, but know that you will not escape Allah, and that Allah is the one who disgraces the disbelievers. In ayah number 3, and an announcement from Allah and His Messenger to the people on the day of Hajj that Allah and His Messenger is free from obligations to the polytheist, the mushrikeen, and so if you regret, then it is best for you, but if you turn away, then know that you will not escape Allah, and give news to those who believe of a painful punishment, azabe alim, which means painful punishment. Except those, again, this particular ayah is saying that this painful punishment is exempted for these. And who are these? Except those polytheists whom you made a covenant among the polytheists, and that they have not failed you in anything, and not they have supported anyone against you. So fulfill to them their treaty until their term. Indeed, Allah loves the righteous. And then in number 5, then when have passed the sacred months, then kill the polytheists wherever you find them, and capture them and surround them, and sit in wait for them at every place of ambush. But if they should regret, leave their way. Indeed, Allah is most forgiving, most merciful. Ghafurur. Of the polytheist seeks your protection, then grant him protection until he hears the word of Allah, then escort him to his place of safety. That is because they are a people who do not know. In ayah number 7, how can be for the polytheist a treaty? This is something that we need to remember, because this is linked with the next ayah. How can there be a treaty with the polytheist, with Allah and His messengers, except those whom you made a treaty near Masjid al-Haram? So as long as they are upright towards you, then you be upright towards them. Indeed, Allah loves the righteous. In ayah number 8, how? Which means, how can there be a treaty with the polytheist? While if they gain dominance over you, they do not regard with you any kinship, association, or covenant of protection. They satisfy you with their mouths, but their hearts refused, and most of them are defiantly disobedient. Fasiqun. In ayah number 9, they have exchanged the ayat of Allah for a small price, and they hinder from His way, which is the way of Allah. Indeed, evil is what they do. In ayah number 10, they do not respect towards a believer any kinship, association, or covenant of protection, and those are the transgressors. Transgressors, those who cross the boundaries. Ayah number 11, but if they regret, then they are your brothers in deen. Ayah number 12, and if they break their oaths after their treaty and defame your deen, then fight the leaders of the disbelief. There are no oaths to them, so that they may cease. In ayah number 13, would you not fight a people who broke their oaths and are determined to expel the messenger, and that they had begun you first time? I would repeat, would you not fight a people who broke their oaths and are determined to expel the messenger, and they had begun you first time? So do you fear them? But Allah has more haqq that you should fear Him if you are believers. Ayah number 14, fight them, Allah will punish them by your hands and disgrace them and give you victory over them, and will heal the breasts of a believing people. So, if we understand from the whole context, we understand that as per these ayahs, Muslims and polytheists have entered into an agreement, a deal, an oath of mutual kinship, of mutual association, of mutual protection for each other. These ayahs also talk about 4 types of polytheists. One type of polytheists who have entered into the deal with the Muslims, these are those polytheists who were hypocrites. They say something else and in their heart is entirely something else. And they are the disbelievers ones. They exchanged this treaty for a small gain for them. They exchanged their words. They have crossed the boundaries. They went against the treaties. They have waged war against the Muslims. They were the ones who attacked the Muslims first, and they wanted to defame the deen. They wanted and they were determined to expel the messengers. And this is something that we have learned from the ayah number 8 to 10 and ayah number 12 to 14. These are also the ones who didn't regret and continued their actions as per ayah number 3. And as for these type of polytheists, which are, and the word which is mentioned times and times again, al-mushrikeen, which means the polytheist or those types of mushrikeen, a warning of painful punishment is given, giving them time of 4 months during which they can move freely. And then the execution of this final warning is given in ayah number 5, which is surround them, sit and wait for them at every place of ambush, capture them and kill them. This is basically a disgrace by Allah through the hands of Muslims for this type of polytheists. The other three types of polytheists that are mentioned in these ayahs are one who lived up to their treaties. These were the ones who were also among the polytheists who had signed the treaty with the Muslims, but they have not failed the Muslims. They haven't done anything against the Muslims, nor they have supported anyone against the Muslims. These are the ones who have been exempted from the painful punishment. Not only that, Muslims have been asked to fulfill their treaty to these people as per the agreed term. And the exact words were, as long as they are upright to you, you be upright to them. Other type of polytheists, basically the third type of polytheists which are mentioned as per these ayahs, are those who regretted and rectified their actions. These were basically those polytheists who had already broken their treaty, who had waged war against the Muslims first, who were determined to expel the messenger and defame the deen. Even from these, if anyone regret his or her actions, if they regret their actions, then Muslims are asked to let them go their way. For Allah is most forgiving, most merciful, Ghafurur Rahim. And the fourth type of polytheist mentioned as per these ayahs are those who waged war but they sought refuge from the Muslims later. So these are the type of polytheists who had broken their treaty, who had waged war on Muslims first, who were determined to expel the messenger, who wanted to defame the deen, and even after the painful punishment has been executed by Muslims toward these type of polytheists, some of these polytheists, if any one of them have approached Muslim to seek asylum, what is the deen telling them? What is Allah telling them to do? Give them protection, give them asylum. Not only that, escort them to the place of safety because they should hear the words of Allah, and because they are a people who didn't know. Have kindness in yourself, have forgiveness in you for these people. In spite of whatever they have done, forgive them, escort them to the place of safety because they didn't know what they were doing. So basically, in conclusion, if we look at the whole context of these ayahs, we realize that people talk about only one type of polytheists as per these ayahs, and those were the type of polytheists who had waged war on Muslims first. And only identifying only these polytheists and not mentioning about the directions and the laws and the clear instructions by God for the other three types of polytheists shows that there is a gross misinterpretation of deen as per these ayahs. Nobody talks about the other three types of polytheists. Nobody talks about the actions and the level of forgiveness and mercy and justice and the kindness that God has asked Muslims times and times again as per these. And the basic problem is that we do not focus on the whole context. We need to look at least 5 to 6 ayahs before, 5 to 6 ayahs after. Look at the whole context on which that particular ayah is referring. Again, focus on word by word translation. Remove all the words in the bracket and give the status of ayat to these words by thinking and pondering on these words. The tools that we have used today is one of the website, corpus.quran, and one of the smartphone app, Quranic Words. The example that we have used today to illustrate how to understand Quranic ayahs is the ayah on polytheist. As per the common interpretation of this ayah, this common interpretation goes against the two important rules and reminders that we have keep in mind. Always that deen is haq, there cannot be any injustice as per the concept of deen. And the other thing is that this particular interpretation goes against the other ayahs which says that there cannot be any force, any compulsion whatsoever as per deen. So there cannot be any violence as per deen. When we have discussed the whole context of these ayahs, we realize that this is basically talking about polytheists, mushrikeen, entering into a treaty with Muslims. And among these mushrikeens, there were a group who went against the treaty. They were hypocrites. They attacked Muslim first. They wanted to defame the deen, and they were determined to expel the messenger. So there were 4 types of polytheists who are mentioned in these ayahs. One type of polytheists are those who lived up to their treaty. They never went against the treaty. They never supported anyone against the Muslims. They have not done anything against the Muslim. To these polytheists, God says that live up to your words, live up to your treaty. As long as they are upright in their words, you be upright to them, is the clear instructions. There were others who didn't regret. They continued their actions. They continued to wage war against the Muslims. They continued to do all of those actions that we had already talked about. To these, the warning of painful punishment was given and then executed. There were others, 3rd type of polytheists, who regretted their actions. They rectified their actions. To these, there is a clear instructions of let them go their way. Do not harm them. Do not do anything against them. There were 4th type of polytheists who waged war. Once the Muslims had retaliated, they sought refuge from the Muslims. And to them, the clear instruction is that if anyone seek protection or asylum from you, you give them asylum, you give them protection, and then escort them safely to the place of safety. Imagine the height of forgiveness and kindness and mercy that God says through these ayahs that we as Muslims should have in our heart, in our day-to-day interaction, not just with each other, but to each and every insan, to each and every human. We need to live up to our words. We need to have ihsan. We need to be kind. We need to have mercy and an era of forgiveness. Because they might be people who didn't know. They didn't know what they were doing. They committed a mistake. It's fine. Forgive them. Escort them to place of safety so they can hear the words of God. And the words of Allah is, it's justice. It's justice at its best. It's kindness. It's mercy at its best. It's forgiveness at its best. These are the lessons that we learned from this particular